How's it going, Lubricated Squad? It's your boy, Lubricated Nuggets, back to you with another video. Today's topic: exploring handheld and motivated camera movement to create tension and unease. I'm very interested in the camera and how movement is used to create tension. Some questions I had before starting this project was how camera movement influences the audience's emotion, more so how handheld tracking, push-ins, and one-shot techniques shape tension in the film. With this project, I will be showing my research, my development, my practice, my revision, and final film, which I will show to you at the end of this. Before I could use tension-building movement in my own work, I need to understand the origins of camera movement and why filmmakers began moving the camera in the first place. Doing some research into it, I found one of the earliest narrative films, The Great Train Robbery, used camera movement. It used pans and tilts. It's very interesting how handheld movement started. The first handheld camera was actually made by this guy named Treason. He made this aeroscope camera, which could be used as a handheld camera to create movement. Here's a clip from Woman in Garden, 1922. This shows one of the first time we used a handheld camera for camera movement, and it feels like we're in that garden with the woman and not just watching a woman in a garden. And not long after, in about 1920s, the German Expressionist movement started, and that's when filmmakers started to experiment more with the camera. Films like The Last Laugh and Variety, they used camera movement and made the audience feel like we were following that character, that we knew what the character was feeling. In German Expressionism, they used a lot more camera movement and camera techniques to bring the audience into the character's headspace and make us feel how the characters are feeling. When you take a look into more modern cinema, you see camera movement being used a lot more. So tracking shots are a very interesting form of camera movement where we follow a character and it's like the audience is actually there following the character themselves. It creates immersion into the film. Handheld camera movement is used a lot to bring the immersion and bring panic. These film techniques are used very often to build tension in cinema. I really like this one shot from The Shining. It starts behind a door and then trucks to the left and shows our main character panicking, and then off to the side we see the antagonist silhouette slide in.
How do you like it?
And I noticed a theme in all these films I researched, that movement is most tense when an audience feels like the camera is a character inside the scene and not just an observer. Filmmakers use tracking shots to follow a character and making the audience feel a part of that story. Handheld camera movement is also used a lot to throw the audience into the world. When the camera itself brings the audience into the film, that's when it's most tense. So now that we know the basics of camera movement, I was ready to start writing a script for my own film. So I began planning. The main thing I wanted to do was build tension with camera movement. So I wrote an intense scene about a guy who's being chased by an assassin. I wanted to use handheld push-ins and trackings. So I started to write a storyboard. The storyboard itself consists of a few different shots taking place in an office. I planned several shots that look good on paper, but I wasn't sure how they translate on location. So I moved into a practice shoot. With this practice shoot, I learned what worked and what didn't work, and what felt just bad. I really like how the first shot turned out, but I didn't like the wide shot where it pulled out. It felt disconnected from the whole story. I think a main issue I ran into is in the beginning of my practice shoot, there was a lot of quick cuts, but then it led into slower cuts. Going from quick to slow cuts got rid of any tension that was there. I needed to do the opposite and go from slower cuts to quicker cuts. This shot I really liked, where we go from the door and then hide the door behind the character. I thought that was really interesting. And then going into close-ups with the antagonist, when I did the tracking shot of their feet, I really liked that. So in my final film, I did a few more tracking shots like that, but then we cut to a very long shot. That shot I did not like at all. I thought that completely got rid of any tension that I had built in this scene. I did like how the last two shots turned out. The last shot I liked, but I thought it would be better if we go from the papers and then to reveal the dead body. I think that would be a really nice payoff, so that's what I did for the final film. Some technical issues that I ran into with this practice shoot was the stability of the camera. Because I was doing all handheld, there was a lot more camera shake. I tried to smoothen it out in post, but I think it made it worse. But I needed to practice my stability with it to make sure it's not shaking too much. For this practice sequence, I made sure to take note of any risks that could happen on set. There's a few things I had to look out for health and safety, like running wires, and of course the prop dagger that will be used on set. So I had to make sure that the dagger was dull and not pointy at all. I needed to find a place where to shoot my film. The initial plan was to film it in an office like I did for the practice shoot. So I went online. I couldn't find any offices that suited the style, so I went and decided I will film it all outside. And I found a really cool place in Cromford called Black Rocks. The only issue is that the ground is uneven, and if it rained, it will be slippery. So I took those into consideration. I put in my risk assessment, made sure the actors were very aware. I made sure that it was completely safe. Based on what didn't work, I redesigned my storyboards to improve clarity and control. I cut quite a bit from the early to midpoint of the film because I think that dragged on a bit in the practice shoot. I redefined my approach. I adjusted different angles. I changed the speed of the tracking shots. I re-blocked the actors' movements to suit the outdoors because we're not filming in an office anymore. And I planned better transitions for some of the shots. This stage showed that I wasn't just copying other film techniques. I was starting to make decisions based on what the technique could communicate emotionally. And now I had to actually shoot the film. I gathered the actors, bought the outfits and the props, and brought them to the location. I made sure that the environment was safe, that there weren't any trip hazards, and if there were, to avoid them. During the final shoot, I focused on controlling tension through deliberate movement. On set, I realized there was a few shots that could actually add a lot more than what was storyboarded. I thought it would be unique to make a POV shot. I thought that was a very unique way to show someone's emotion and to put the audience directly into that character. I really like the final outcome of this film. I think I used camera movement pretty well to build tension in this scene. Some things I would do differently next time is get a dedicated focus puller on it, because I did struggle to keep focus on my subjects. I have a lot of outtakes where the character's not in focus, so having someone on set to do the focus for me, where I could focus more so on the camera movement itself, would be beneficial. Overall, I learned a lot about how camera movement shapes an audience's emotion, and how tension doesn't just rely on the speed of the camera or how it moves. It relies more so on the rhythm of the film and how each shot is cut together. Another thing I learned is that a practice shoot is very essential. If I just shot my practice shoot outside, it wouldn't have turned out as good as it has now. I'm very glad I also revised my storyboards because it really just benefited the final film. This project has strengthened my understanding of camera movement, not just as a technical tool, but as a storytelling language. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye, lubricated nugget.